Action, camera.
My name is Charles McAllister Cann, Jr., known in my childhood as Chuck, known now as Charlie. I am an artist, a craftsman, a tradesman, a writer, a sculptor, all sorts of things. I started at a really young age. I mean, I sort of have memories that go way back as far as doing art. I mean, not thinking of it at that time as art, but we actually had I had a nanny when I was very young who was a black nanny, and I spent a lot of time with her. My parents were off, doing their own thing, and she left a legacy of drawings that I did when I was 5 years old. I can't remember her name right now, that's the thing. But anyway, she left a scrapbook, and there are scraps of paper, envelopes, everything, and she wrote notes and wrote all this stuff about when I was really little that she would come and she would sit in her room, and she had her programs, which were gospel music programs. And she would listen to her gospel music. And I got into her letter writing box one day and started to draw all over the stuff. And instead of being mad, and she even said this in the things, instead of being mad, I realized that I should keep these.
My name is Jack Heiberger. I'm a teacher at the Acorn Gallery School of Art. It's a small private school for the teaching of art to kids from the 5th grade through college. We also have adult classes. I think our oldest student is now 102 and quite competent. But for the most part, the part that I teach is the portfolio program, which is for kids in high school who are attempting to put a portfolio together for entrance into college and hopefully to win scholarship. When I was brought home from the hospital as an infant, my bedroom was my grandfather's painting studio in New York City. I've been around oil paint my whole life. I've painted and drawn my whole life, long before I could read. Out of the frustration of not being able to understand comics, I made my own. I've always been visual. It's always been the thing I most like to do. And interestingly enough, the first time I went to college, I never took an art class in high school, never took an art class in college the first time through college, because it was so natural for me that it was never considered to be, in my mind, something to do. The act of making art is probably more like worshiping than, and not that I'm bowing down in front of the craft or my painting, but rather that monk who disappears into his mantra happens to me almost every time I paint.
I don't know, it's almost like a Zen exercise. When I do certain things, I get transported and carried, and I don't, it isn't a think, it isn't a cognizant, self-aware kind of thing. I mean, I kind of disappear into the work. I have a goal at the end. I have something that I know I want, a place I want to get to with whatever I'm doing, and that's good. But to some degree, I disappear in the work, and it's a very good feeling. I mean, it's kind of like going, it is. It's like meditation almost. And it can be, if it's hard, if I'm slugging away something, like carving really hard, or anything like that, or just drawing, really drawing hard, painting, I go away. That's one thing, but there is a time, certainly when I do certain kinds of things, when I am aware of the goal and I'm looking at it like, a story to tell or a situation I'm trying to develop, certainly in drawing, I'm trying to draw on the paper. But and there's always there is that kind of excitement, and there can be, certainly, but I think probably when I work, it's much more of the work controls me. And sometimes it's really hard for me to get started, and I'll sit there, and in a way, it's almost like I know that once I do, I'm gone. I mean, how many times have I just been here? I wake up and it's 6:30, 7 o'clock, and the phone is ringing, and it's Sal. And, what are you doing? Oh my God, no, sorry.
My art leads me to understand whatever the subject is, or something around the subject, in a clearer way. Even sometimes I get going on a student's painting and they'll stop me. Okay, that's enough, thanks. Because it's just, you're using your hand, your mind, and your eye simultaneously in this semi-repetitive process, so it's very much like chanting or a mantra, or certainly the results are. Absolutely, time disappears. But what is art? Art is to be human.
I think I was blind before I met you. And I don't know where I am, I don't know where I've been, but I know where I want to go. And so I thought I'd let you know. Yeah, these things take forever, I especially am slow. But I realized that I need you, and I wondered if I could come home.